January 2003, the then president, Mwai Kibaki, announced free primary education. This enabled over 1 million children who were locked out of school due to poverty and lack of school fees to be able to enroll in public schools. This culminated into 10 years of educating the children of the Republic of Kenya for free in primary, and later on, the free day secondary education. Now, in came the Jubilee administration led by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He continued the free primary education for 10 years. He continued and even revamped the free day secondary school program for 10 years, just like his predecessor, who had maintained that for 10 years, enabling millions of children who come from disadvantaged backgrounds, whose families could not afford the exorbitant school fees of academies and public schools then, to be able to be educated in a decent manner. Myself, I went through free primary education from class 3 up to class 8, then went to secondary school where I was only paying for food. I was in a public secondary school. So the monies we were paying was for maintenance, food, and all that in school. The tuition was taken care of by the government for 4 good years. When I got to secondary school, I was given 12 free exercise books, Kasuku exercise books. I was given textbooks of every subject free of charge, and I would only pay for them if I lost them. At the end of the term, I would go to the teacher who's in charge of that particular subject, return the book, and at the end of the year, that is, and at the beginning of a new year, I will be given a textbook for that particular subject for the next class. This went on. When my exercise book would run out, I would go to the storekeeper, bring with me the used up exercise book. She would paper punch it and give me a new one. This enabled me to go through school without the hassles and bustles of a parent lacking school fees and being chased out of school every now and then. Those were 12 years, close to 12 years, of free primary and secondary school education. I have neighbors, I have friends who went through the entire 12 years free of charge. And that generation is the generation we have today that is educated, well-informed, that is rejecting poor governance. The current administration we have has only been in power for the last 3 years. And it's not yet even a full 3 years, but for the last 3 years. But, man, they already don't have money for capitation. They've now reduced capitation per student in secondary school from 22,000 shillings to 16,000 shillings. And the CS Treasury has come out and told Kenyans it is no longer affordable to maintain free primary education and free secondary education. Same case is applying to the university. We had the old funding model where kids would go to school, much of the tuition would be covered by the government. For the government-sponsored students assigned by JAB, then in came KUCCPS, most of the students would only pay 15 to 25,000 shillings per semester, with only 2 semesters in a year, and some even 16,000 shillings. So it was thereabout, and it was an affordable amount. So all you would do find accommodation for your child. And for this, if you are qualified, your child will apply to help, and they will be assigned, some will be assigned as high as 60,000 shillings in any academic year. This will enable them to be able to pay the amount of school fees that the parent had to pay on their part and remain with some money to sustain themselves. This model ensured that children from poor backgrounds were able to go to school and were able to complete their studies. Today we have doctors who would never have become doctors because their parents would never have afforded that education to educate them for a whole 6 years, do internships for 7 years, and then become a fully fledged doctor. Today we have excellent teachers in the teaching field, courtesy of Mwai Kibaki. Today we have engineers, courtesy of Mwai Kibaki. I have a friend. She's an excellent doctor. Actually, she graduated top of her class, and she's been mentored by these international organizations that increases her capacity in that particular field. And I'm proud to see that out of the system that gave free education to children who could not afford it, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have architects, we have people doing very well in society today. And that part of the population that was educated for free, majority of the beneficiaries, and I dare say over 80%, were from poor, humble backgrounds. But now this administration wants to tell us that in 3 years, they have run out of money to continue this vital program. But we see their game, and this is their game. They want to continue ruling the country. They want to refuse to vacate office when the constitution says they should. They want to come up with a way to remove the term limit so that they can govern this nation for as long as they wish. And they know they cannot do that if they do not impoverish the masses. If the masses are poor, if you come in with campaign money and these masses are not educated, they will not question you. They will just say yes, sir, or yes, madam. So that is the part they are trying to eliminate. They are trying to eliminate a whole generation from being learned and from being informed so that them and their children can inherit the political space without being questioned about governance and the way they run the offices we lease to them for 5 years. And now they want to remove the lease terms that we give them, the 5 years limit that is subject to renewal if you perform well or not. And this is sad that in 3 years, our children will not be able to be educated. And our children can no longer go to school if we don't have the money. And you will see millions of children dropping out of school due to this. And it is sad. It is sad for my nation, Kenya. And I feel bad for all those parents out there and all those children out there who have had hope that if they are just able to survive through the education system, maybe, and just maybe, tomorrow holds better tidings for them. That is my unfiltered insight.